Good evening, and welcome to another installment of the Social Studies 8 Museum. My name is Professor Applebottom. Today I'm going to show you one of my own creations, symbolizing the process of rebirth. As you will note, I have made a simply exquisite representation of the phoenix, one of the most famed creatures in all mythology. The phoenix goes through a very unusual life cycle in which it must die and be reborn in flame from the ashes.
Okay, so when I think of rebirth, the first thing that comes to my mind is water, because water is often very important in a rebirth, or it's an important part of something being reborn again and being able to grow again. So I decided to draw water and this period of like coming out of a storm. So there was this like stormy period, and then it kind of gradually got lighter again, and then after that storm there was like able to be life growing again. So I grew like a little seedling that is growing, but instead of growing out of the ground, it's growing out of the water, which is really important for it to be able to grow. And then the seedling is now producing like this light that casts a new light because it has been reborn. And
Okay, so when I was first writing this poem, one thought or image kind of came to my mind, which was that of a seed. And then this idea of it took one seed, or this phrase, it took one seed, kind of just repeated in my mind. I'm like, okay, so when I thought about rebirth, I thought about this seed and the fact that it only really took one to create something new. And so what I thought was interesting, I guess, about a rebirth is that it comes from a past. It can't happen until there is essentially a death. And so that kind of led to me visualizing a dry ground, or something that does not have life to it except for this one seed. And then from there, the theme of the seed, obviously I keep repeating it, kind of just kept playing through my mind until I came up. So I started here with this draft, kind of worked it around, and then used a little bit of repetition of that phrase, and ended up with this poem called Planting, which I'm gonna read for you right now. Okay, so in the midst of a vast dry land, one seed. The cracks ran deep with sorrow, canyons built with the rushing of blood, scars left as a reminder of death. It took one seed. For we can try to plant it on our own, to predict a time and place, but he who is greater has other plans. He who has moved mountains can move sorrow with one seed. He knows the time and place for which the seed will flourish into a magnificent future built upon a dark past, planting one seed. Creating something new out of something that had to die, ridding itself from the cracks, scars, and reminders of death, rooting one seed. Oh, who can speak of its beauty, the innocence of a fresh start that shines brightest because of the history it leaves behind, marking a ray of hope to mark its path towards a brighter future, no longer a seed, but a rebirth.